Gonna do a little shop update here. This past week, it's been kind of busy for me. On Monday, I was able to come back in the shop, get a little work done on the truck. Tuesday, I had to make a go to Ohio and pick some stuff up that a guy had bought on an online auction. And when I went there, it actually turned out to be in two different places. Originally, he told me it was in Columbus, and then it turned out that some of the material or items was in Fairfield, Ohio. So that turned out to be like 110 miles from the original Columbus place. So I'm going to show you a little clip of that, and then I'll bring you back for some other stuff and let you know what else was going on during the week. One of the things that I want to kind of show you, though, is I got that socket for the nut on the axle of the Ford haul truck. So here it is. There'll be more explained about it in the Ford video that's coming out. I'm actually having some issues with that, getting that Ford video out. One of the things that is going to be explained in the video is that when I do these things, what I did is came in on Monday, worked on the truck, posted or put some videos up onto the computer. Had to make the haul to Ohio on Tuesday, came back on Wednesday, did a little more work, and put them videos up on the computer. Then Thursday I had two hauls to make, so going back in and trying to figure out what I did and what sequence that I did it in on those videos is kind of difficult. So I got a little frustrated making that, so I'm going to post this shop update video first. So I will go into more details about the video posting and how it becomes confusing in the Ford part 13 of the Ford video, but I'll bring you back. Okay, so this first clip is going to be the Ohio trip, and I'm just going to show you some of the material on the truck. It's not material, it's equipment on the truck after I got it loaded, all loaded, both from Columbus and Fairfield. Now, I do not like to shoot video in places that I go to, and that will be explained further in when I tell you about Thursday's runs. So here it is, the Ohio clip. Okay, this is the stuff that I picked up for that guy down and had to go to Columbus, and then I had to go to Fairfield, Ohio, to pick up the rest of the stuff. Compressor, air dryer, parts washer, a couple of them lift carts, a couple of tables. So there it is. I'm in Fairfield right now. Okay, so as you can see, I didn't shoot any footage of the places, or I didn't shoot any footage out the windows of the trips back. You're never going to see any footage of the trips there because I usually leave late at night or early in the morning, and it's dark. But anyways, as you can see, I'm in the shop. I've got the truck in here. What I've got to do this weekend is get this truck and my trailer washed and the trailer prepped, because I'm leaving and going to Wisconsin to pick up something and bring that back on Monday morning. So I'm going to leave very early Monday morning and go to Wisconsin, pick this stuff up, load it up, and then get back here probably Tuesday Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So again, I've got to get the truck and the trailer cleaned up. They're both a mess. I've got to get the trailer prepped. Just check tire pressures, make sure the lights are all working, and probably grease the axles. So I'll do that. But I'm going to show you a little clip here of a little bit of a score from that Ohio trip. It's part of a little shop update here. I had made that trip to Ohio yesterday, and I kind of showed you the video of the truck at the second pickup location. After the truck was loaded, sitting on the side of the road, I just was double checking straps, bindings, and stuff. But at the first location, when I picked up those tables, we had to pull the tables out, and the guy that was there, he pulled one of the tables out, and I pulled the second one out. And again, here's another prime of example of you really don't pay attention to things when you do something. I pulled the other one out, and when I saw him pull the first one out, and he did it with pretty much of ease, and when I pulled the second one out, it was a struggle for me to get the damn table out into the aisleway so we could pick it up with a forklift. And I went around and backed the trailer up in front of the door, and he brought the tables out with a forklift. And he says to me, he says, sorry guys, got interrupted by somebody. Anyways, so what I did is I moved my truck around, and he brought him out with a forklift and set him on the trailer. And I positioned him up there. It was easy to slide the things around on the trailer because the bed of the trailer had a bunch of snow on it. But anyways, he says to me, "Oh, somebody threw a piece of granite onto the one." He says, "If you can keep it if you want it." And I says, "Yeah," because the first thing I thought of, a piece of granite, I'm thinking, it was part of a surface plate or something. And I get back up on the trailer and take a look at the shelf on the table, and here's this piece of 1-inch steel. It's a 1-inch plate steel. It's 18 inches by 18 inches, and I always am into taking metal. So I kept it. I didn't even tell him that it wasn't granite, that it was a piece of steel. I just threw it in the back of my truck. And yeah, I got a piece of 1-inch plate steel out of the deal, 18 inches by 18 inches. Somebody cut it with a torch and really didn't do a great job at it. But on one side, but it's in the shop now. It'll be used for something. Okay, so I was out power washing the trailer. What I did is power washed it today. It's still in the upper 30s here, but I got out, power washed it, got all of that dirt and stuff off of it. What I'll do is tomorrow I'll come in and wash it, and then probably on Sunday I will come in and wash the truck and start checking the trailer, tire pressures, grease the axles, get it all scoped out. But anyways, I'll bring you back and we'll talk about the haul on Thursday. Bring you back. Okay, so the haul yesterday, Thursday, the first task was to go down south of here, about 70-80 miles south of here, to a supply place and pick up tin roofing, approximately 130 sheets of tin roofing, 15 feet long and a little over 3 feet wide. So I had to pick up a check to give to the supplier, and When I was leaving, the guy says to me, he says, he told me where I had to deliver it, and he said to me, he says, the place that you're picking it up at, I think the people are Amish. And I'm thinking, wow, man, a supply place that's Amish? But anyways, I get down there early in the morning because I had another trip to make, which I'll get into in a minute. Get down there early in the morning, and sure enough, they were Amish. But when he took me into the office to pull out the paperwork on it, and so that I could give him the check, and he was telling me, to begin with, when I rolled up on the place is huge. I mean huge, and they're all brand new or fairly new buildings. Tin-sided buildings. So anyways, I pull up on the place, and there's probably 12 PJ trailers, gooseneck trailers, parked in the parking lot. And I go into the office with him to give him the check and stuff, and I says, "What, do you guys sell trailers?" And he says, "No, those are ours. We use them to haul material or deliver material to customers." And I said, "All of them?" And he says, "Oh yeah, we actually have 14 of them, ranging in size from 30 to 40 feet long, and we deliver material to them. But what we do is we have 6 drivers, and we have them loaded up so they go out on delivery, and while they're delivering, we load more trailers up and take them out. So when they come back, they can just drop the empty trailer and pick up a new trailer and take off for a new delivery." And I says, "Well, that's cool." And he says, "Yeah, I used to do that." And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you used to do what? Drive, deliver? But anyways, we got to the topic of getting the stuff, and he says, "Pull around the other side of the building," and he says, "I'll have a forklift load you." And I'm thinking, a forklift truck? And these people are Amish? But anyways, he comes over, and it was him. He was driving the forklift truck, and he puts it on. After we got all of the sheeting onto the trailer and loaded, I said to this guy, I says, "Joe, I've got to ask you a question. I'm really stumped here. I thought Amish people weren't allowed to use machinery." And he says, "They now have sects of groups of Amish people that do not follow the old traditional ways. They are allowed to use machinery and equipment, drive vehicles, have licenses, use telephones, have cell phones, but I guess they're not allowed to do it at home. They can only do it for a job." So this place is owned by the Amish. It's a big distribution place, and they fabricate that metal there. They get rolled metal and fabricate the siding or roofing on site in a production facility behind their warehouse. So that's kind of the reason I didn't film that. Amish people are very hesitant about being filmed. They don't want to film around them. So I had to deliver this back into Buffalo to somebody, and the guy that sold it to him, that I was picking this up for, told me, he says, "I was really leery, skeptical of selling it to this guy just from his attitude over the telephone." He says, "So I demanded cash up front, or money up front, before I delivered the material to him, and I got it, but I was really hesitant." So I get to this place, and this guy is a lunatic. I wasn't dealing with him. One of his warehouse guys came out to unload the material, and he had a walkie-talkie. And this guy that bought this stuff was just screaming and yelling at his employee over the walkie-talkie about everything. By the time that I rolled up and the guy came from the warehouse, came out to look at it, and I've got to tell you, it was a small warehouse. The forklift truck was only probably 75 feet away from where we were in the parking lot. By the time that this guy was done yelling at him and telling him mixed ideas of where to put it and how to do it and everything else, it was probably a good 25 minutes of him just yelling and giving him mixed directions on what to do with this. So I didn't want to film any of this. I wouldn't even take a picture in the place. Well, I did snap one photo when the guy was kind of behind the thing, just so if anything came up that the guy knew that I had delivered it and I was at that place and it was getting unloaded. But anyways, after that, I went back to the metal supply house and picked up a load of stainless steel that had to go just north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and took it down to there. And I didn't film any of that because when I got there, it was a big processing plant, a food processing plant. And when I walked into the shipping and delivery place, even though they knew I was coming, I had to go into shipping and delivery, and there was huge signs that says no cameras allowed, no cell phones permitted on the premise. So you couldn't actually, you had to leave your cell phone in your car or truck. So there was no pictures of that, and I didn't take any video on the way back because it was getting late. I was kind of in a hurry to do something personal, and the weather kind of had me bummed. The weather's really got me bummed a little bit. It just keeps going and going. It's cold, and it's supposed to start warming up in a couple of days, so hopefully it'll change, my attitude will change, and things will get better, and I'll start filming some of these pickups, deliveries, and some footage of traveling. But anyways, that's probably it for this shop update. I might have thrown a couple of still pictures in there into this thing, but they were just pictures of maybe, I gotta tell you, there was I did take one picture at the Amish place, and it was only because they had, on top of the sheeting was bundled in kind of a palletized situation. And I did take one picture of it because the top sheet was bent a little bit, but it turned out that they had just put a partial sheet in there for to keep the strapping from binding into any of the full sheets. So it was no big deal, but I did grab one quick picture when his back was turned, so I'll probably throw that into the clip here too. But anyways, that's it for the shop update. Hopefully I'll get a truck video out this week.